You're here, I'm pleased, I really feel your company. Your style, your smile, your pace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me. I was blind, now I can see what a king's supposed to be.
Excuse me, miss. I was in the waiting room when you gave your testimony. And what I realized is that we have an enemy in common. While you were being called to the office again, I was being put out the only home I've ever known. While you were shaking with anxiety and fear over something no one ever wants to hear, I was shaking in dread. Because we all know what happens to little girls that have no home and no one to claim them. I think our souls passed each other by. See, my soul left me a long time ago in a dingy motel room, ripped away by brutal force. It fled, unable to find its way back home.
Historical people, who would you want in your seat and why?
Wow. I guess because I'm different. You know, I'm not really starstruck. And so it would be hard to really pinpoint anybody in particular. First person that just came to my mind, you know, I mean, if I had an opportunity to cut Denzel, you know, I would.
That's a good one.
I'd do that.
That would be a dope conversation.
Exactly.
How important is diversity in your work, considering you grew up in a bilingual, bicultural home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. I think at this point, just in society, there's just so much diversity. You know, whether it be in language, whether it be in your upbringing, whether it be, you know, in whatever that is. And so I think growing up in, you know, a bilingual household as well as really a bicultural, despite the fact that, you know, my parents are you know, both of Hispanic descent, but growing up in two different cultures of, you know, very traditional values in the home and very different, and sometimes similar values, right, outside of the home, but in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And so,
he tests those whom he loves. I pray he continues to love me till my death. I pray he continues testing me and testing me and testing me until I have no questions left. Until I can ingest knowledge and choke on lies and spit out truth with every breath. But you see, until love for what he loves and hate for what he hates is the only thing that's left within my chest. I know that I will constantly fight to love what's right because I was created with a heart that sits slightly to the left. But I'm okay with that. Because I always knew and always know that he knows exactly what is best. You see, he knew that it would only be a matter of time before I would open my eyes and finally realize that I needed to look deep down inside and pull out the divide so that my heart and my mind would collide and learn to work together.
What's going on? What's going on, my good people, extraordinary family? We are back for another powerful episode of Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. I am your host, Willie Beeman. I'm excited for this episode, man. It's a guy I met here recently at a writer's showcase. Came off as a good dude, man. Great conversation. Appreciate the encouragement from the other interview that I did. I appreciate that, bro. But yeah, without further ado, definitely have to give him his introduction. He is a Fort Worth native, author and motivational speaker, author of the book My Man, Your Woman, known for raw emotion and real-life storytelling, a voice shaped by responsibility, resilience, and purpose, mental health advocate committed to healing and growth, and last but not least, mentor and community leader with a focus on empowering others. Online community, extraordinary family. Let's give a warm welcome to my brother Antoine Rackstraw.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me here, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on. Invite me to your platform first of all, man. Shoot, we chopped it up a couple of times,
We did.
man.
Yeah.
Shoot, and man, it's just an honor and a pleasure, man, to even just to speak with you on the phone, man. You speak so eloquently and everything like that, man, and everything you stand for. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm definitely intentional, man, by who I bring on the show. And I talked about you when we were at the event of bringing more male authors, on our show. I mean, no shade to the women. Y'all doing your thing, but definitely want to make sure that our men are represented as far as writers and authors, too. So I was very intentional.
Yeah, we have to, man, because, I mean, like you say, no shade to the women.
Yeah.
But women empowerment is everywhere. I was speaking with a young lady the other day, and I was like, man, there's so many women empowerment stuff, man. Where's the men in this stuff? Where the men involved? But we get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So I mean, Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is a holiday that's pretty much bigger than Christmas, right?
Yeah. I can agree. I can agree with that.
So I mean, Father's Day, it's like St. Patrick's Day. When St. Patrick's Day is
that's a big holiday,
So I mean, Father's Day just gets overlooked. It's says it's a Monday. Let's get up. I don't feel like going to work. It's Father's Day. It is what it is. So,
yeah.
But yeah, man, we men need to be empowered more.
I agree. Before we get to all that you do, the community work that you do, this great book right here, I always like to kick off our show, allowing our viewers and listeners to kind of get to know, I guess, its upbringing, childhood, family dynamic, because I believe that plays a pivotal role in how we move based on, siblings and family dynamics. So take your time to kind of share, who was Antoine Rackstraw as a child?
Man, I was terrible.
At least you're honest.
I'm always going to be honest.
You're honest.
I was terrible, man. I was bad, man, but I was always intrigued by music, by writing. I wasn't the best. I said it on the interview that I had yesterday. I wasn't the best writer. I wasn't the best reader, but I made it a point because when I heard people reading and saw people writing, mine was real script. My script. I was like, nah, let me practice on mine. I hear other kids reading. I'm like, man, he read good.
Yeah.
I'm at home. I'm in my book. So. That really started me, man. But I was a terrible kid, man. I pretty much grew up in the streets, man. Like when I say in the streets, I was in the streets. Man. But by the grace of God, and that's I can only give that to God. And seeing my mother raise 3 kids and struggle the way she did. I think that's where I got my work ethic from, because she's raising 3 kids, working and going to school.
Wow.
And this was back in the 70s. So man, it's hard to do now. So it was even harder to do back then, But yeah, man, as far as anything, man, went to high school, graduated from ODY.
Hey, me too. Don't say that, man. Don't shut for that.
Graduated from ODY, man, and went to the military. Came out the military, and just been. I was really trying to find my way in life because I was so young, and after a certain time, I didn't have that type of guidance, male guidance.
Right.
I didn't have that male guidance. It was easy for my mother to, give me advice or whatever. But I didn't have that advice or that guidance from a male.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So it was hard for me to even look at my mother in a way where she could raise me. Because it's hard for a woman to raise a man. It's hard for a man to raise a woman. Even me, I'm a single parent. But it's hard for a man to raise a woman. We can structure you of what not to do because what we did, so we can see it.
Yeah.
But for it to happen and for some people to be there, and my uncles and my cousins, man, they were positive influences on me.
Yes.
They were very positive influences on me. But it was a lot of them were influencing in a
Yeah,
different
in a
way.
different way. Yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I thank God for them, man, and I love them. Just the same.
Yeah,
Because they only did what they know.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, man. It was. I definitely had a roller coaster ride when I was younger.
yeah,
And I'm on a different ride now.
yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
I just thank God. I thank God for this ride, this journey in my life, man, and I'm looking forward to keep climbing because I'm not ever gonna stop.
Yeah. Going back a little bit, you mentioned your mother being a figure in your life, and I can speak to that too. My mother, Brenda Strickland, I was raised in a single parent home as well. She was working, taking care of me and my sister Jazz, doing all she could. Retired from Alcon over 20 years, right there off 35. Yeah, just breaking her back, to provide for us. So I definitely can relate to coming up in that house. So, what changed for you when you were younger to help you make better decisions? You mentioned your uncles and different things like that. When was the switch? It was like, man, I need to do better.
Man, I met my buddy. Man, dude, I was probably 15, I think 14, 15. I met my buddy. His name is Hakeem Johnson. I met him, and then I met my other partner. His name is Johnny Wimby. He's a motivational speaker in himself.
Wow.
And when I met them two, because I've always loved music. I was a lover of music.
Yeah.
I started poetry at first. I started doing poetry at first.
Wow.
And when I met them two, they took me to introduce me to my man Don Q. He has a studio there.
Wow.
So we actually became a group.
Yeah.
Called Two Aces and a Joker, and we started doing music. So
That's cool.
I think that was the switch.
Yeah.
Even though we were still doing street things, but the thing what we really wanted to do that gave us an avenue out of there was the music.
The music. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So after that, I met my man HL, and we actually had did music, and on another level, we put out a couple of albums and everything like that. Matter of fact, when my man before Twisted Black got locked up, he and we talked a little bit, and then but when he got locked up, we just kind of lost contact. But shout out to Twisted Black. But man, music was my thing. That it was my avenue.
Yeah,
that was my avenue to say, okay, now we can kind of put some things in place. I was still confused as a young man, but now we can put some things in place. And all that. So before my music albums came out, I was wanting something different for myself.
Of course, yeah.
Wanting something different and looking at it and like, man, this ain't really what I'm supposed to do, because I've been through a lot, man. I've been through drive-bys and everything like that. And I tell everybody, man, I should be dead. It is not the dead or in jail part with me. I should be dead. And the grace of God, man, shout out to Pastor Crane and Mama Crane and Miss Elsie Manning and all these great ministers and all these great churchgoers and everything that I was involved with. That kept me, and they kept praying for me. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm able to keep myself and pray for myself and pray for them too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
saying?
That,
paying it forward.
Yeah, man. So everybody, it's a lot. It really does take a village to raise a child.
Yeah. As I was looking at your bio, there was a phrase in there that you described your life as being shaped by fire. And so when you think of fire, for me, the first thing that came to my mind was gold. In order for gold to be purified, it has to go through that refining process. It has to go through the fire in order to come out as pure gold. And so with that phrase, what other moments truly tested you that changed your direction?
Oh, man, shoot. Man, look here, man. There's been so many.
Yeah.
There's been so many. But I would say my major change was my kids.
Yeah.
I quit music for my kids. Even though me and my man had 2 albums out, I saw myself going down a road that I didn't like.
Awareness. I love it.
And so looking at that, I still love music. If I would have been wiser then.
Yeah.
I would have still been doing music and still captivated myself, but there was no room for both of them.
Yeah.
And I understand some of the things that we went through, me and my man went through, that we got messed out of some things, right? And I was upset then, but when I look back on it, when I reflect back on it, it made a lot of sense. Because I was torn. Hey man, do I want to be this way and have my kids looking at me this way? You know what I'm saying? Good. So I'm in a roundabout way. I'm glad it happened. I'm not glad that we got messed out of some money. Right? But I'm glad that I'm able to be present for my kids in any way that I can.
Yeah. This is great. This is a great segue into my next question. I don't have any kids. We'll have some one day, but I've been married for 14 years. But
that's good.
For you being a single father, how did becoming a single father influence the way you see purpose and responsibility? How did that change?
Oh man, it changes because you know what you did as a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and the purpose is not to let them go down that road.
Yeah.
I remember having both my sons, Alton and JoJo, on 2 separate time zones. And, you don't bring your kids up in the street because you don't want them to be in the street, whatever. But for some reason, when you don't bring them up in the streets, they still want to be in the street. They gravitate to it.
Yeah.
So I remember the lesson that I taught them, man. I mean, I took them outside one night. Like I said, separate occasions. I took them outside one night. Took them at the end of the driveway. I told them, look down the street. I said, what do you see? I say nothing. I said, that's exactly what's in those streets. Nothing.
Wow.
That's powerful. And I told them, man, I said, man, you keep walking down that street. I said, you see where those street lights are and how it gets darker and darker and darker? I said, that's exactly what's going to happen when you're going to lose sight of who you are. You don't need to be in those streets, man. That was one of the messages I taught my kids. I used to take them on bus rides. I used to take them on bike rides to show them that there's a different form of transportation than you have in a car.
Wow. That's awesome.
So man, it's just a lot of things that just came to me through visions, through God's visions, and everything like that, man. And I'm not perfect. I've never been a perfect father. Yeah. There's no book on how to raise a kid. Well, there is books, but they don't teach you how to raise a kid. You get into an argument, or you're dealing with preteens, and they don't teach you, man. It's trial and error, man. And I'm just trying to be the best father I can be. I know I made some mistakes. I'm gonna continue to make mistakes.
We're human.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to be the best father and the best man I can be.
Yeah, that's good. To me, I hear the power of presence and making sure that you're showing up, for your children. We don't really see it a lot, in our society where certain fathers are, there for their children. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You see the neglect. And so for you, that's very powerful, knowing that there's other ways to see life, taking them on the bike rides, taking them on. My pops used to do that too, and take us on train station rides. Just different ways to see life. That's a motivational speaker that I follow. I'm pretty sure you may be familiar with him, Inky Johnson.
Yeah, oh man.
That's my
that dude is powerful, man. That dude is powerful, man.
One thing he always says is experience drives perspective. And so the more you experience life, the more you go through things, it kind of shapes, your perspective on life.
Yeah, Inky Johnson, man, has got one of the most powerful sayings I've ever heard in my life. Say, we live by this, we die by this. Every man must search his own soul. We don't surrender, we don't retreat. I mean, Inky Johnson, man, that dude is powerful.
Yeah,
man.
That's my guy. Yeah, powerful story. I want to shift. So I'm pretty sure you know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I definitely think that's conversations that we all should be having because it's important. We do maintenance on, cars, we do maintenance on our body, and we don't do mind maintenance when it comes to our thinking patterns, our belief systems. So for you, when was the moment you realized you needed to prioritize mental health? When was that light bulb moment?
Man, me going through so much in my life, I think the main ideal moment, because I've always been a quote unquote speaker. In other words, you see somebody out there on the street and they messing up, you're like, hey man, come on man, or you're at the barbershop and somebody wants to talk to you or something like that. So that's why I say a quote unquote speaker, and a helper. But I think what really did it for me to want to do it on a larger scale, because I've spoken at churches and things like that, and then I've kind of backpedaled away from it. But consistently, it was me. I was married for 18 years, and my wife cheated with another guy. Well, it wasn't the first time she cheated, but this time it was just so big, and I was in a dark place. And I've always been a prayer guy, a prayer person, but this moment I wasn't praying. And I remember walking into the house, and I'm like, God, what's the problem? What is the problem? And something just made me drop to the floor, man. I started crying and everything, and I didn't have no choice but to pray. I had no choice. It was like somebody pushed me to the floor.
Wow.
And made me cry and say, now just cry out.
Yes.
And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And it was like, and soon I would open up my phone and it would be Kevin Gates, Inky Johnson, saying, so, all these great motivationalists saying these things. And I'm like, man, are they talking to me?
Yeah.
Why is every time I open my phone, this is on here, And I'm like, you know what? I just need to go on and get back in it, go on and get back to myself. And that was the main thing, man. This was what, 3-4, almost 4 years ago. And I don't want anybody else to suffer the way I did, because I didn't have anybody to talk to but God.
Wow.
And you have to be mentally strong to just listen to just God himself and nobody else. Nobody else. You have to be mentally strong to do that, man. And everything started to unravel. I started seeing the world a lot clearer. You know what I'm saying? The sky got a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
So the walls that was in this way, they moved all the way out the way. You know what I'm saying? And man, and that's what did it. That's what did it for me, man. Because I know a lot of people are going through it. A lot of men are going through it. We were, and I don't want to get off the subject here, man. Real quick. Men, we were brought up by some great people, I'm pretty sure, but we were brought up wrong. Because we were brought up not to show emotion.
Man, I was going to go there.
We don't know how to nurture each other. We don't know how to uplift each other, because we were brought up just to be the protectors and all that, right?
Provide and all.
But once when we have a family, man, what we do is we put all of this into our family and none into ourselves. So when we constantly make somebody else happy, unconsciously you're in a constant state of depression because you ain't making yourself happy.
Wow.
And when I got divorced, man, people was like, hey man, let's do this, let's do that, man. What you gonna do? I'm like, dude, I don't know. Because I put so much into my family, I don't know what to do
now. Yeah.
And I don't want nobody else to go through that, man. And if I can help anybody or change their perspective on anything or something, I've done my job.
Wow. I want to stay there. In that moment, going through that dark time and that dark season, what were some practical steps that you took to be better and to sharpen your mental health? We already know, God is our Father and He can speak to us, but outside of that, what were some practical things?
Yeah, so what my main thing I was doing, I was listening to motivational speakers out every morning, then and now. And now I do it 4 or 5 times a day. I speak positivity into my life. If I get a negative thought that I believe is a negative thought, I pray in God, get that out of my head.
Yeah.
Get that out of my head. I don't need to be thinking
that. That was my prayer this morning.
Yeah, I don't need to be doing that. Exercise is another thing, because you have to have an avenue to release.
Yeah.
You have to have, and I love exercise, and I just kind of, sometimes we get in the realm where we let ourselves go. But just something so small as walking 1 block. You walk one block. If you walk one block, I don't care, you go out your driveway, walk down to that corner, come back past your driveway to the other corner, and then go back in your driveway.
I love that.
It helps. It helps, man. And surrounding myself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
You know, my circle is small, but I thank God for my circle because everybody in my circle hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be around somebody that's not going to hold you accountable. I was speaking when I was on the interview yesterday. Shout out to Furman Jackson.
Yeah.
When I was on his, and I told him, you don't have to be a millionaire in order to have a millionaire mindset.
I totally agree with that.
You know, you don't have to be around millionaires in order to have a millionaire mindset. You just have to be around people that think like you do.
That's good.
And eventually, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's another phrase that I will always say, that wealth starts in the mind and ends up in your pocketbook.
Oh yeah. I like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It definitely starts, with the mental, and eventually, you hanging around the right people, the pocketbook gonna change.
Yeah.
But you don't have to already have it to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree. Staying in this mental health conversation, how has your definition of being okay changed over time? The reason why I ask this is because I believe, as men, it's okay to not be okay. Going back to what you said earlier, us as men, we're taught to protect, we're taught to provide, and not, show emotion, those different things. And another way I would phrase it is, you think about Superman, we're taught to be Superman and not Clark Kent. We're taught to be this superhero, put on the cape 365 days in the year, but we're never taught to be vulnerable. Never taught to show emotion and cry, like you mentioned earlier. And those things are healthy. So going back to my question, how has your definition of being okay changed over time?
Well, first of all, I'm not okay, man. I'm awesome. I am spectacular, man. I'm great. I don't have any bad days. I have bad moments. So my way of doing that is, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I got two cousins, man. My brother-in-law, Chris, shout out to Chris, Tim, Daryl, man, and even Terry and Norris, man, that's my circle. Those guys, we play dominoes probably every Sunday, man. Just about. Or if I'm on vacation, we'll play every day. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
But man,
it's good.
Man, being okay, it's okay, like you said, not to be okay. You have to identify that first.
Yes.
And so when the problem is, man, a lot of us men think counseling is a bad thing. It means you sick. That's the way we were brought up.
Yeah.
That's the way we were brought up. And that's not true. But then you also have to look at it on the flip side. Somebody that ain't been through it can't tell me nothing. And that's where we see that. That's where we see that too.
The issue,
So when we identify that we're not okay, we literally, I don't care if it's your homeboy, if it's the Asian guy at the store, your Hispanic neighbor. I don't care who it is, man. Talk to somebody, because once you hold it in, and I tell my kids this every time, once you hold it in and you let it out, you're gonna explode on the wrong person for no reason at all. And that's how a lot of us get incarcerated, because we exploded on the wrong person. Now we didn't hurt this dude over here that had nothing to do with had nothing to do with last week's the argument that you had with your wife at home because you can't express your feelings to her. And it starts in that house, because if you are, and this is my advice, man. If you are in a household where you cannot express yourself and get the nurturing that you need so you can nurture.
Yeah.
If you're in a household where your woman or your wife or however it is, when you're expressing yourself, oh, what are you complaining about? Why are you on this? Because that's how it is with us men. If you are in a household like that, man, it's time for you to leave your household. It's time for you to get out of there, because Now you can't be yourself. Now
That's
you are
good.
forced to be somebody else.
Yeah.
You are forced to be somebody else. And you know, us as men, we're like, man, I don't care about him. You know, he ain't supposed to be doing all that.
Yeah.
Hey, look here, man. Don't look at somebody else's life and compare it to yours. In other words, man, that's a nice house. I wish I had that house. Go get it.
Yeah.
Man, that's a nice car. I wish I had that car. Because now you're comparing your life to somebody else's, and you don't even know what's going on behind those doors.
That's
You know
heavy.
what I'm saying?
That's heavy,
So man, yeah, just you know, we need to learn. And if you don't want to, you know, it's a lot of love in houses, man. But in marriage and relationships is a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful thing. But we need to understand and get to understand ourselves. We got to understand ourselves first before we can understand anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of us men that are married, just like a lot of women that are married, they wasn't raised by wives or husbands. So it's hard for us to understand what to be a husband is or to be a wife is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to do that internal work, man. We have to look at, you know, the people around you and take that, even if they're doing something negative. Say, okay, man, I know that's wrong, so I can't do that. I can't do that. So, you know, and be around people that's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, man, because if I hold you accountable and not judge you when you talk to them.
That's
because
good.
us men, we get judged a lot.
Yeah.
When we come over there and try to talk to somebody, and even and if your homeboys, you try to talk to your homeboys. I'm telling y'all this now. You try to talk to your homeboys, and your homeboys are telling you, man, just leave that girl. Man, you just over here complaining. I don't want to hear that. Them ain't your homeboys.
I hope y'all picking up what he dropping, man. I definitely agree with that, and definitely making sure that our inner circle is healthy. Going back to you mentioned earlier, making sure that it starts at home. My recent interview with shout out to Miss Raquel McFadden. She's one of our board members here, and she was talking about her 31 years as being a social worker, dealing with different family dynamics. But I asked her, you know, what do you do to reset, knowing that you're dealing with a lot of different emotions? And she was like, I want to make sure that my home is a safe space.
Yeah,
I want to make sure there's peace in my home, so when I go out, you know, I can handle situations a lot better. And so going back to what you were saying earlier, definitely making sure that it starts at home.
Yeah, man, you have to, man, because you have to, man. When I started getting into myself, and see, that's another thing, we don't know ourselves no more. You know, when I started choosing myself, when I started telling people, no, man, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. When I stopped answering my phone for certain people, you know, this is before my book came out, but all of a sudden, he changed. His book coming out, he think this is going to be, you know, man, he's just acting funny. He got an attitude. Nah, it's not that, man. I just choose me. I love you, but I love me more. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I will tell people, I'm not going to let you come in here and disturb this peace. I'm so into myself now, man. You know, a lot of people, they can't sit in silence because their thoughts are too loud.
Wow.
You know, so me, I can sit at home. I don't have to have the music on. I don't have to have a TV on. I don't have to do it. Man, I'm so silent. I get up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's where most of my ideas come because, you know, what the Indians call it, they call it the spirit world. That's what the Indians call it, the spirit world, where your mind is going and your you know, you have this out of body experience and everything. You and your astral plane and all that. But man, that's where most of my ideas come from at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's how this book actually developed. So man, but get into yourself, man. That's what we need to do.
Got it. Yeah, we're gonna segue into this book. What inspired you to write My Man, Your Woman, and what message were you hoping readers would take away from this book?
What inspired me, man, like I said, it just kept coming to me for about a month. It just, in my head, I'm like, man, why am I thinking of this crazy stuff? You know, why am I thinking this? Why am I thinking of this? And then the title came, My Man, Your Woman. I was like, maybe I need to write this down. So I took one of those big legal pads, you know, and when I started writing, the first time I sat down and started writing this, I ended up with like 45 or 50 pages of it. Whew. Just in one setting right there.
Wow.
And what made me want to really put it out because I started talking to people about it, ministers and everything. As a minister told me not too long ago, man, he said, "Is that same book we talked about?" I said, "What do you mean, man?" It's, well, yeah, man, we talked about that book about 5 years ago. I was like, "Really?" I said, "Man,"
Wow.
he said, "You said you was already done with it." I was like, "Yeah, man, that was about 6 years ago. I didn't even know.
No,
Time goes by so fast."
Yeah.
I said, "Yep, that is it." He said, "Man, I told you then you should have put that book out." A minister told me this,
Wow.
and I told him what the book was about, man. So, just telling everybody told me, to put it out, man. And, like I said, I went through a divorce, a bad divorce.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier.
And, I had to trying to get my daughter counseling because she was mentally,
Wow.
and me coming from my perspective, I couldn't crack her. So trying to take her to, therapists and everything like this.
Yeah.
And my daughter told me, she said, "Daddy, I will try my best if you put your book out." She said, "You got to promise me to put that book out."
Wow.
And that's why my book is out today. It was already written. It just never came to fruition. It never came out. My daughter is the one who made me promise to put this book out.
Wow.
And she, all 2025, she was like, "Daddy, 2026 is your year. 2026 is your year." And I still believe that. 2026 just started.
Right.
And the book came out at the end of January.
You told me that, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Man, that's how this book came about. Shout out to Anise, my daughter, for making me put this book out. Shout out to everybody who told me that this book needed to be out.
Yeah.
From my sons, my daughters, my aunts, uncles, shout out to everybody, man, because everybody's just been so instrumental.
Yes.
Yeah, and me putting this out, man. So what I want the readers to take away from this is that I'm an author with a vivid imagination.
I love it.
I'm an author with a vivid imagination, man, and it could be real life, right?
True.
It could be. I just, book 2 will be out at the end of July.
Okay.
Book 3 will be out right before Christmas.
Okay.
And I also got something else I'm writing also. It's called Chapter 13. So it's going to be 13 books. Each book is going to be a chapter.
That's very different.
And the 13th book is going to bring everything, all 12 of them, into one.
Wow. Yeah. We can't walk over that. What made you come up with this type of concept? I've never heard a concept made in regards to authors.
Man, I never did either, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was sitting at my computer and I was like, man, I gotta, I had writer's block.
Yeah.
So, when I have writer's block, I gotta take 2 or 3 days off, 4 days off, whatever reset. It is. Yeah, reset. And I thought about this story. And it's a crazy story, man. I can't tell you what it's about.
No, we gotta see it.
It's a crazy story that once I was like, I wonder. I said, and then the chapter 13 came. It's chapter 13. I said, okay. I said, what if I write 13 books and, make each book a chapter?
Yeah.
And
that's dope.
And I said, you know what? I sat down because I write first. Sat down and doodled a little bit, and then it came to me. I said, man, this last book here can actually, once I got through writing what the last book was going to be about.
Right.
And I looked up, and all 12 of them before that was right there at 13.
Wow.
And I said, man, golly. So I wonder if I can do this. So I know I've already started.
Wow, I'm excited for that. Man. Yeah, that is a totally different concept. I've never heard a concept, but it just speaks to your level of creativity, man, and keeping an open mind. I believe we're all creatives in our own right. We all have different skill sets, different gifts, different talents, and so one thing that I've understood about gifts that the Lord has shared with me is that gifts are meant to be utilized, not left in wrapping paper.
Oh man, I like that. I like that.
You think
I
of a
like that.
gift if it's
Yeah.
something that I'm giving
Yeah.
you and it's something that you love and care about, and I give it to you. You're not just gonna keep it in the
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
You're gonna
I
open
like
it.
that,
You're gonna
man.
utilize. You're gonna value it. Why? Because I spent hard-earned money to get it, and so yeah, gifts are meant to be utilized, man, not
Yeah.
kept on the shelf.
I like that, man. I like that.
Yeah. Going back a little bit, you mentioned earlier in our conversation of not having the skill set to be able to write or seeing other kids reading and wanting to get better, being intentional. With this book, how encouraging was it to get, the okay from your daughter and your siblings and your uncles to put this out, knowing early on in your childhood this wasn't even something that you were good at?
Yeah. Man, it was very, very inspirational, man.
Yeah.
I was very thankful. And then, like I said, it was a lot of people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, put that out. It was very inspirational, man, for people to even tell me that. And for them to read actually what it's about and them to say, man, that is a heck of a book. That right there, man,
Yeah.
that's like me going down to the homeless shelter and feeding the homeless, or talking to somebody that is feeling like they don't have anyone.
Yeah.
And me changing their perspective and them saying, man, you know what, I needed that. That is a feeling that you can't explain, man.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful feeling, man. And it's just a beautiful thing that I have people like that around me and people that I can inspire and just make a difference to. Just, that's all I want to do. I just want to let my light shine.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Same here. I know we talked a little bit off camera about some things that you're kind of working on. I believe one of them was the Arlington Music Hall.
Yeah.
May 22nd, right?
May 22nd.
Yeah, so I guess those that watch and listen, just kind of give them a summary of what that's going to look like.
Well, it's actually a concert. Though.
Okay.
The Sounds of Motown. I don't want to butcher it right now, but it's a bunch of groups from Motown that was actually with Motown.
Wow.
Or their kids. And they're doing the old Motown songs and stuff like that
historic.
At Arlington Music Hall, and I'll be in front with my books, but I'm also going to be going all the way through there, taking pictures with everybody and all that over.
That's cool.
So if you guys want to come on out, man. There is an admission fee. Seats are limited. So Eventbrite, go on Eventbrite and search that. But that's one of the events, man. We have. I got an event partnered up with Tarrant County College, man. And
that's cool.
We have an event June 18th. That's Beat Back Bullying with the kids, man. And that's a huge event, anti-bullying, no bullying.
Yes.
Event coming up, man. And we got three or four events coming up at Globe Life Field.
Yeah.
Couple of events coming up at Texas Live.
Yeah.
Man, so y'all just watch the social media and just be prepared, because Fort Worth and the surrounding cities, we are getting ready to put authors, influencers such as yourself. We are getting ready to put a lot of people on the map, and we want to put people on the map strictly because we have a voice too.
I totally agree with that.
we have a voice. We have people out here with great books. We have people out here, great influencers, great interviewers. My man Willie right here, Willie Beasley. So man, my man Furman Jackson, shout out to him.
Firm.
But we're gonna bring notoriety out here, man. So y'all just come out, support, and just join in. Even if it's with the youth, just come out and join in, because we could always have more volunteers.
Yeah. You mentioned something earlier, us having a voice and making sure that we're utilizing our voice in different spaces that we're in. And so you being motivational speaker, public speaker, big avid of mental health, when did you realize your voice had the power to impact others? When did you realize, okay, I have a voice, now how do I utilize it?
Man, it was years ago. My buddy, shout out to Johnny Wimber, he's world-renowned motivational speaker.
Yeah.
But when he started, it was actually before he started, because I could always tell somebody my gift of discernment. That's the best gift that I have.
Oh my God.
That's the best gift that I have, because I could always tell when somebody's going through something. I remember being at True Vine over on Miller.
I know.
Shout out Pastor Crane.
Yeah.
That's Papa Crane there. That was one of the men. Him and Miss Mama Crane has been so influential in my life.
Yeah.
And I remember being with him one night. We was riding. We went back to the church, and I said, "Man, I need to talk to your director, your choir director." And she was, I didn't even know at the time, she was writing a book. And she was struggling with writing a book, and something else was going on. And, Pastor told me that. But I told her, we went in and I saw her, and he stood right next to me. And I told her, I said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. God wants you to keep doing it. You may have some hiccups now, but it's gonna be greater later. God told me to give you this. And when we went into the office, Pastor Crane said, "Man, you didn't even know she's having problems right now in her family."
Wow.
He said, "Your gift of discernment is, is off the charts, man." So that was the time where I wanted to flip the switch and be a motivator for other people.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, I always knew that I was a natural born leader. I didn't know how powerful I was. And right there in that moment, that gave me the conviction that I needed, I should say, because I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, when that happened, and he kept calling, "Hey man, you want to come out here and speak to Sunday school? Hey, you want to come over here? I got my men's group. You want to come? I want you to come out here and speak about 10, 15 minutes." And when I would speak to the men over there, it was a couple of men. Man, you know what? Thank you for that. I needed that, man, because of what you said. I used to be that way.
Wow.
And I was too scared to come to the forefront. And you brought me to the front.
Yeah.
And even beyond there, man, we used to play basketball at this church over there on Morrison. I think it's called Celebration. They had a gym in the back of it.
Yeah.
Man, they used to just let everybody in the community come over there, man. And there's a guy named Ralph. I don't even know where Ralph is to this day. I hope he's still alive. But Ralph we used to have prayer. We used to play, then we'll stop, we'll sit and have prayer, have a discussion. We'll to have prayer.
That's awesome.
And and Ralph would nominate me to pray. Hey, okay, you're gonna pray this time. And one time, I remember a lot of my partners was there that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I prayed, and my partner's name was Priestley. He came up to me and said, "Man, I appreciate that, because the prayer that you did," he said, "it answered my questions." He said, "Man, you got to keep going at this. You got to keep going." He said, "Man, I thank you, man." He said, and that was the first time that one of my homeboys from the street, I had to nurture one of my homeboys.
Discipleship, man.
You know what I'm saying? So man, we hugged, man. He had a tear in his eye. I'm like, "Man, you okay, man? You all right?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I am." We both had tears in our eyes, man. And so those incidences right there,
that's powerful.
Those are the ones that stand out to me. And that's when I said, you know what? I got to do this. But I was so worried about what everybody else thought.
Yeah.
That was my problem. And I didn't want to be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't say the right thing.
I feel
So now I got a superpower. Now my superpower is I don't get embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed at all, man. At least if I didn't do it right, at least I can say I tried.
Yes.
And I did it with the best intent. So yeah, man, but those two stand out to me right there.
Yeah. Staying in this, those that are watching, those that are listening, what advice would you give to those who are afraid to use their voice, whether it's public speaking, whether it's interviewing, whatever it is? What advice would you give to those that want to get in this field?
My advice is to push as hard as you can. Don't listen to no one else. Listen to God. Listen to yourself. There's always going to be somebody out there with an opinion. Just like me having my book, or if I was doing music or anything. We're all critics. We're all critics.
Oh yeah.
Do not give up, and do not let anybody, not even your parents, tell you you can't do it, or talk you out of it. Because too often we let people talk ourselves out of stuff.
We do.
We don't talk ourselves out of it. We let other people talk ourselves out of it. Yeah. So whatever you're passionate about, my advice, whatever you're passionate about, just go and do it. And even if you got to hit me up on social media, I'll help you do it.
That's good. That's good. Paying it forward, man. Definitely need leaders and role models in that space. And I was the same way, being afraid to use my voice. What are people going to think? How they going to view me? But I'm like, man, can't nobody be Willie but Willie.
Yeah.
And I had to understand that. And so, yeah, that's definitely important. Through some of your speaking engagements or events that you've done recently or here in the past, talk about a moment where you felt deeply connected, with the crowd. Some of those moments.
Oh man, I was at Harvey Avenue a few years ago. It was way before my divorce. It probably was 5-6 years ago. Shout out Pastor Tila. That's one of my pastors, my pops.
Yeah, you got a healthy group of people around you, man.
Yeah. He asked me to speak to the summertime, when we were in the summertime, Vacation Bible,
VBS.
He asked me to come up there and speak to the kids, and the kids, kids in the audience, it's small kids. They probably up playing, whatever. Right. But that was one of the moments that I felt connected to them, because that's where it starts. It has to start at ground zero. It has to. And the kids need to be taught, yeah, we probably got some great advice when we were younger, but the older we got, we wasn't leveling up. The level of information didn't measure up to what we were doing.
Yeah.
So it starts there, man. That was one of the things that made me feel real good about what I was doing.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it starts with the youth, man.
Yeah.
It starts with our kids. It starts with the next generation, that are come before us, and I can even speak to that here, working at the library, our story time, and it's amazing. Yeah. Shout out to Trisha who runs it for us, but to put a smile, on these kids' faces, and, to give them what they need. So some of our story times, we have a partnership with Timothy Farmstead right up the road, and they'll do story time. But after that, they bring in live animals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. And the kids can go outside and play. And so, man, to see the joy and the smile, on these kids' faces, it is amazing.
Hey, man, you've done your job.
Yeah,
you've done your job.
Yeah. Going back to this speaking, because I'm picking up too.
Okay.
What's something you had to improve or unlearn as a speaker? Because it's one thing to learn, but it's another thing to unlearn.
Not to have tunnel vision. Because when you're speaking and you're in a room, you don't want to just be here. Because instead of you talking here, you need to talk to everybody.
Yeah. I see where you're going.
You need to talk to everybody to, how should I say, work the room, work the crowd.
Yeah, work the crowd.
Man, because people look at that, and the people in the audience look at that. I've watched a lot of motivation speakers. Les Brown is one of them. Les Brown is Les Brown, and I've actually taken his course.
Wow.
I've taken his course. This was years ago. I mean, this got to be 15, 20 years ago.
Sheesh.
And I take it, but I don't do nothing with it. You understand what I'm saying?
I see.
But that's one thing I can tell you to do. Work the crowd. You have to speak to everybody.
I love it.
You can't just speak to one person. Now, you may be on stage, and one person just might have a glow over there.
Yeah.
But you still have to speak to everybody.
Got to work the room.
Yeah, you have to speak to everybody, because everybody is going to take something away from it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just have one person, or if that's the case, you and I'd be talking there all day, every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Going back to that, outside of, we mentioned Les Brown, who's a heavy hitter. We mentioned Inky Johnson. Who was some other, I guess, speakers that inspire you even to this day?
Man, I can't think of this brother's name. He's huge too, and his name is his name always comes to me after I talk about him.
I want
The guy, man, he's very, very emotional when he speaks.
Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas,
Yes.
God,
I'm with you, bro. I listen to a lot
Eric
of
Thomas,
people.
man, Eric Thomas, man, and Tony Robbins.
Oh
man.
yeah, I'm familiar with Tony.
You know,
Robbins.
man, it's a lot of them that I listen to, and they can be speaking on the same subject, but all of them have a different message.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's the thing. That's the
Yes.
thing about it, man. You know, I love listening to different motivational speakers because that means I don't limit myself to one way of speaking.
That's good.
Because I can always take something from anybody. I don't care. Dude, let me tell you something, man. I know this homeless guy, and I'm not gonna say his name, man.
Yeah.
But this dude is so profound. He's so smart. And he's homeless because he wants to be. He's not homeless because it's circumstances.
Yeah.
He's homeless because he wants to be. He said he doesn't want to be shackled by, the world. But man, this dude gives me so much knowledge every time I see him. And it's hard catching up with him because I'm like, man, I want to learn more. Give me more, because I'm a seeker of knowledge. I love to learn. But man, this dude here, man, I can pick up the phone and, hit Tony Robbins and look at them and all that. Yeah. This dude here, man, this dude's so doggone hard to find. But once I see him, it's like I always need him at that time.
Wow.
And that's the craziest things that's been happening to me. I don't know if my guardian angel, I don't even know if I believe in angels, but I'm just saying something, is going on. Every time I need this dude, he's there.
Wow, that's a different approach. And I think you make a point. I think a lot of us become so fixated on those who we are familiar with that we neglect those that don't look like us, that don't look like lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah,
So, absolutely.
Wow, yeah, that's powerful. Going back to the book, those that are watching and listening, you mentioned writer's block earlier. Speak to those who are, in the process of making their book or want to become an author. How do you deal with writer's block? What does that look like?
Man, I just get away. It's like, you may be trying to work on your car, and you can do it, but it's just something blocking you from there. So you just get away, just 2, 3, 4 hours a day. Of course you can't let your car go down the whole day or whatever. There's no right or wrong way to just clear your mind.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way. You can go shoot you some pool or go to the lake. A lot of time I get on my motorcycle and I ride.
That's cool.
Because it feels like I'm free.
I love it.
I don't ride too far. A dog show don't ride fast. My cousin complains about that all the time because he ride fast. Come on, slowpoke. Hey man, look, dude, I'm just cruising.
You're just cruising.
But yeah, that's what I do. My advice is just to get away and just get away and just ease your mind on whatever you need to do. Play basketball.
Yeah.
Pour into your family if you're a family man, family woman, or whatever it is, or go with your girls, socialize, whatever, because whatever that block is, it's gonna go away and everything's gonna come right back to you.
Yeah. Very important. Knowing that you are a writer, knowing that you are a speaker, public speaker, what's the difference between you writing on page versus speaking, to a crowd? Is there a different approach or are there similar methods? What does that process look like for you?
It's very different for me in speaking because there's a lot coming into it. When I speak, I don't write anything down. I pray, and they'll tell me, hey, this is the subject.
Right.
Once I pray about it, they may tell me, a week before. Okay, this is the subject, this is what you want me. Okay, I pray about it and pray about it and pray about it. And then once I get there, I'll pray again. And it just goes. I don't write anything down.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just go straight from the heart.
Yeah. I think that's very important. A lot of times we could we can get caught up on having these scripts
Yeah.
in front of us, and you know the nerves is on an all-time high, and then we're fumbling. So, yeah, that's a divine gift to get a subject and speak from the heart.
Yeah, I use my own testimony, man, as my basis, and it'll go from there, because everybody shares some type of experience that you shared. You know, I don't care whether it's heartbreak, headaches, backaches, you know, knees, whatever it is. Everybody shares something and that you've shared. Your experiences may have been different, but they've shared that same thing in that same realm.
Yeah.
So I use my testimony, man, when I come out there, and then just let God work with me from there.
Yeah, I love it, man. I work the same way. So I don't know if you're familiar with the mind ministry. So it's basically taking a song and articulating it through body language, through facial expression, through emotion, without verbal communication. I've been doing that over 2 decades because I always had a gift to dance, just doing it in ministry. And so, yeah, I definitely can speak the same way. Normally when I'm preparing for an event, whether it's a church or whatever, I listen to the words, but when I go out and perform it, it's all there's no.
You say you give to dance. I know you don't be out there twerking, dude.
No. This is totally. I'll show you. Like, it's something totally different. It's for the kingdom.
Okay, all right, man. I want to see you out there popping or nothing. So,
staying with this book here. Where do your stories usually begin? Is it with feeling, character, or real life moments, or even all three when it came to, I guess, putting this book together?
Man, you know, well, now that I'm writing like 3 books at one time, so I can tell you this. I think it normally comes with the characters, and I use real life names. I use real life streets. You know, I use real life addresses.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and everything is Fort Worth based.
Yeah.
Everything is Fort Worth based. Everything I write is Fort Worth based. You may see somebody with Fort Worth PD. You're like, Fort Worth PD? I mean, they're real characters. The names are different, of course, because I don't know everybody, right? But the characters come out, and then when the characters come out, that's when the addresses fall.
Yeah, I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's what it is, man. The characters come out first.
Yeah. I love that. In your writing process, how has writing helped you process your own life experiences, knowing that you shared earlier a lot of stuff that you've been through and certain mentors that you had to develop the man that you are now? How has writing, helped shape some of your life experiences?
Well, man, that's funny you should ask that, because I got a book that's never been published. I got a book, this book is probably 20 years old. Whew. It's never been out. And I'm getting ready, I'm finishing that up. And it's more like a self-help type book.
Gotcha.
And it's called Who Are You Trying to Convince? And it's a book on me. It's strictly on me.
Wow.
What I've been through, some quotes and stuff that I learned and things like that, man. It's some things in there that nobody knows.
Whew.
I let my mother read it years ago, and she was like, "Man, that didn't happen." I was like, "Yeah, it did."
It did. Wow.
I said, "Well, I didn't know it." Well, yeah, I didn't tell nobody.
Wow.
So, man, that
wow, 20.
It was wrote 20 years ago. I mean, literally finished.
Wow.
Or at least I thought it was finished.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now y'all went back to it. I said, let me go back in here. Let me see.
Yeah.
And man, because I got somewhere like 35 books.
Whew.
Hasn't even been out. It's just I was always told, I was told by a coach, shout out to Coach Chris. From ODY.
I know
even Anthony Chris right now.
Yeah.
I was told, Coach Evans, when he was up there,
yeah.
I was told, man, hey man, you got to take all that anger, you got to harness it, And even Mr. Dansby, when he was the principal, he's the one who told me to start writing my stuff down.
Wow.
Yeah, and I wanted to be like Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan had the more fly suits, man. He was sharp, man. But he told me, he said, you got so much anger. He said, football is okay, and all that stuff. He said, but you need to write it down.
Yeah.
He said, once you write it down on paper, you're letting it out.
Yeah, I agree.
And man, I wrote so much stuff, and I wrote so much stuff, man.
Wow.
And I could read it. I could read it and be like, oh man, now I could read it and understand. I'm like, man, this could be a book built. And I just went through my files not too long ago, a few months ago, and that was the first one I saw because it was already typed up.
Wow.
The title is already on there and everything. And I'm like,
20 years. My God.
Yeah.
I wanna speak to that, bro. So I remember reading a post, well-known R&B singer Brandy. She just put her book out, Phases, and in the book in her post she was talking about how she had this fear of being afraid to put this out, stuff that people probably know about, through her journey, her career. And so for you, knowing that you had this masterpiece over 20 years ago and hadn't put it out, how do you separate vulnerability from, but also having boundaries, I guess, at the same time? Or you just like, I'm just gonna put it out?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I write unapologetically.
Yeah.
I won't apologize for writing. I will not apologize. If I apologize for writing, that means I'm apologizing for being me. And I'll never do that. I never apologize for being me. I won't, I've already defined myself for myself. So I won't be eaten by other people's fantasies. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't, I'm gonna be honest, man, and I hate to say this on camera, I don't care about no audience. Because there's gonna be people out there that don't like my stuff, right?
You talked about it earlier.
But the people that do like my stuff, those are the people who I want to get something out of.
Yeah.
We're all, like I said earlier, we're all critics. We all got our own opinions.
Yeah.
We all got our own opinions.
You said that
the people who don't like it, you don't have to read it. I apologize, but you picked the book up. I thank you for buying it. But if you don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I always, this is what I tell other authors and influencers and everybody. Negative publicity is still publicity.
You're absolutely right.
So if something negative comes out of it, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I write so whoever reads it gets something out of it.
Of course.
And if you don't get anything out of it, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because everybody's not going to like it, man. And that's why I say I don't write for the opinion of other people. I write for the opinion of people who like it.
That's good. Well said. Before we put a button on the show, you dropping some gems. I hope y'all are picking up my brother explaining. It's definitely been great, bro. Great dialogue, and you just being your authentic self. That's one thing I love about you. I guess just give us some closing remarks, man. Those watching, listening, who want to go into whether it's public speaking, whether want to become an author, whether it's community work. What advice would you give, to these folks?
I got a design. I got a T-shirt that it says fear. All right.
You had it on at the showcase.
Yeah, and it says free every author's restraint. Free every author's restraint. Write boldly. Don't apologize. And so that's what you do. I don't care if you're a podcaster, if you're a motivational speaker. I don't care if you're a mechanic. You do everything you do. Do it right. Do it right by you. Do it right by you. And don't apologize for anything. You can reword it. Oh, okay. Well, let me say this differently. It may be some things that I've said that people are not going to like. And I understand that. It's always a way to say it. But I would not apologize for being who I am. I don't apologize for putting out my book. I won't apologize for speaking and telling the truth. I'm going to always speak the truth on me. And that's what we always need to do. Speak the truth, not your truth, but the truth.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So We'll just wrap this up, man. I appreciate you being.
Yeah,
I appreciate
bro,
you having me here.
Yeah.
Y'all look out for my books. Look out for my merchandise. And look out for big things coming in the future, man.
Facts.
From my man Willie B and from me. You know, you guys have been great to watch this and listen and everything, and I appreciate everything. And the main thing, I want to thank God.
Of course. Well said. Well, I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man, thank you, man.
This was great, man. Definitely learned a lot about you. Great interview, man. And just, I would say, just continue to be yourself. I love, your transparency and your vulnerability. Keep being a leader, for our youth and for the generation that's coming. So we'll see y'all. This is Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. And I can say that we definitely had an extraordinary conversation on today, man. We will see y'all next week. Peace.